Hello and welcome. Here with a bad skin day but a good hair day. But what can you do? So my body is already starting to reject the idea, but we're gonna follow through with it, hopefully. Okay. So recently, Sage from Sage Reads created a readathon, basically, and it sounds super cool. And I want to participate in a readathon, so this will be my first one, and it is called the Hero's Journey Readathon. And university ruined me, studying literature ruined me, and so I know a lot about the Hero's Journey because it was mentioned in almost every single class. I feel like it was almost every single class because it actually became a solid part of the theory. So I am here with my most ambitious TBR ever for this readathon. It's 9 books, I believe. That is a lot for little old me. Have I ever read 9 books in a month? No. 8? 7? 6? No. Maybe 5? Maybe 5. So we're almost doubling my reading here. So Sage has given us some prompts, which we create a character and then we go on this journey basically, and I love that. I love it so much. But I went with the laziest route / most convenient route for me. So out of all of the character types, I have chosen mermaid. Mermaid is, well, the prompt challenge thingy for mermaid is only read books written by women. That's something I do anyway. I don't know how it ended up happening, but majority of the books that I have read have been by women, and I don't know if that's like a pat on the back sort of moment for me or if it's just because it's just how it's happened. I don't know. I don't think I've ever... I didn't really pay attention to it until I was just like, actually, it's majority women. So yeah, I've gone with mermaid, and then the class I went with was thief. And now thieves don't buy anything, so I mustn't buy anything. So all the books that I read have to be ones that I've already owned. Books that I already own or books that I borrow. I went with this one because it's most convenient for me, as I've already got all of these books. So yeah, real laziness coming out. But to be fair, May is actually one of the busiest months for me coming up. It's where majority of my assignments are due, but there's like 5 weeks in May, I think, just because of how the weeks have set out. I don't know. It's got 30 days. 31 days. Do I know my months? It's got 31 days, I believe. Yes, 31 days. There's 31 days, and I've got all my assignments. I've got a lot of books here. But I'm also going down the track of reading stuff that I should be reading for school anyway. So I'm just trying to do 2 birds with 1 stone here, just being motivated by a readathon. So here are my May plans. The first prompt is Call to Action. I'm just going to get my notes here because I've actually forgotten what I've written. Oh god, I'm cringing at this first one. Call to Action, which is read a book that is set outside of a house. I'm gripping at straws with this one, and I'm cringing at it because I sort of DNF'd it. So ages ago on my Kindle, I bought a book that I'm really regretting. I think it's like new adult, but it's like, it's bully romance, and I don't really like bully romance. It worked for Penelope Douglas in Punk 57. I've read a little bit of this book already and I was just like, nah, I can't stand it. But I'm going to go with it this time so I can break up my studying with this trashy read. So it's called Filthy Rich Boys by C.M. Stunch. So yeah, I would have properly DNF'd it. Actually, I could have returned it because I bought it on my Kindle and I could have returned it and gotten my money back. But I'm sure it's like, if there are any terms and conditions, I'm sure it's outside of any time where I could return it. Anyway, so I'm going with it. So we're going with this shitty new adult book. It's set in a boarding school, so it's technically outside of a house. I don't know if that's what Sage was going for with that prompt, but that's how I'm filling this prompt. I actually struggled to find, need to stop clicking. I kind of struggled to find something that was semi-short and something that I could read in my very time-limited month. So we've got that. The next one is Meet Your Mentor, and it is read a book written by an author that you admire. Let me find it in this pile. And that's Emma by Jane Austen. I've never read anything by Jane Austen. So this is unwarranted. It's unearned admiration. I like her simply because we have the same birthday and she's also a writer. That's it, that's as far as it goes. Stupid pen. So we've got this here. Now I've got an audio book for it. Recently I realized that instead of just letting all of my Audible credits build up, I can actually use it for something, and Emma is one of those things that I can use it for. 8 hours, so I don't know if I'm gonna listen to it at one point time speed, which a lot of people hate. Sometimes when it's faster, voices sound funny to me, so I get too distracted by that, so I can't go any faster than 1 time speed. But we'll see with this. But 8 hours still isn't that bad. So I could, on one day that I'm not doing uni work, I could listen to 4 hours in the morning and then 4 hours at night, or 4 hours one day and 4 hours the other day. Done. Read. So Emma on my TBR. The next prompt is Crossing the Threshold, which is read a coming of age or coming out story, which I was originally going to double this one up with another prompt, but then I was like, nah, screw it, find the 9 books. So we've got Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson. I'm fairly sure that it's literally about Jeanette Winterson's experiences coming out. Now I've got an audiobook for this one as well. I've been holding on to it forever, so I should have had no excuse for having not read this, but I haven't yet, and I think it's 6 hours, so that one should also be achievable in a single day. So it's here. The next one is Trials and Failures, which is read a book that you started but never finished. Now, either if you know me in person or if you've been around on this channel for a while, I think it's a pretty good guess at what this book will be. Especially when I'm doubling up with uni reads. Gonna let it stew for a moment. Should really just hit myself in the head with this book. But it's here. I'm literally halfway through, so I don't know if I'm gonna reread the first half or just like skim sections, because I think I remember most of what's important to then move on. I've got plenty of friends that I could ask about, hey, what happens in the first half? Or I could just read a synopsis. Probably the fastest thing that I could do. Yeah. I just never wanted to get to the end where Achilles dies, okay? And it's not even a spoiler. This is literally just based off the myth slash story just of Achilles dying. So it's not a spoiler. I knew that before going in. I don't even know if I don't think it says on the back. So it's a book I started but never finished. A lot of people hate me for it. The next book is Death and Rebirth, which is a book that's been on my TBR for a year or more. This is the one I was gonna double up on this one, but then I was like, no, find something short. And I'm like, I don't know what I have that's short but fits the prompts, but I found it, and that's Ariel by Sylvia Plath. Yes. This was for uni. I've read a couple of poems already, and I mean, not all of these poems are that long, so I should be able to get through this in an afternoon. And going through it now, I don't know why I didn't think of putting this on my TBR, like my honors reading list, because a lot of these would be suitable. Anyway, short, fits the prompts. I've had it since second year of uni, and now I'm in my fourth year. So this is here. The next one is Revelation, which is a 5-star read prediction. This was another one I was gonna double up, but then I quickly scrambled. I mean, all of this was scrambled because I watched Sage's video like an hour ago, and then I finished what I was doing, and then straight away I put together this TBR. So, I mean, it's all last minute, but I started to think about what I could do that's also beneficial for uni. So I came to this conclusion. Great Goddesses by Nikita Gill. I'm fairly sure I've spoken about this before here, or is that on it in an unpublished video? Probably the latter. Yes, so another poetry collection about Greek gods. I'm fairly sure it's just Greek gods. Well, goddesses. Yes. And I've started it. Bookmark. And one of the poems at the start made me cry. So I'm just fairly sure it's just gonna be a 5-star read because it's basically what I'm going to be doing for my thesis. Next prompt is atonement, which is read a book that broadens your worldview perspective. I added perspective on myself, but broaden your worldview. This one is probably the most uncertain one on this list because I'm currently reading it now in April. The Penelopiad, by Margaret Atwood. Yeah, so I've started it now, but I'm in the middle of another read, but I'm almost finished that, and then I'm hoping to get into this. So I may finish it before May begins, and I don't know if I'd be able to include it then. And I don't know if it truly fits the prompt, as it's, I don't know. I feel like this prompt is kind of broad because worldview could mean anything, basically. I'm assuming it's meaning an experience different from your own, but the treatment of women never ceases to horrify me. And that's the whole point of my thesis as well. So this is a integral reading for my honours, but it could very easily fall through being something that I could read for the TBR in May. And I don't know what else I could put here is the struggle. I just realised I never completed my TBR anyway, so I mean yeah, so I just realised that I didn't actually finish writing down books and picking books for my TBR. So firstly, that's a problem. Secondly, it means I'm not going to be able to do a full bingo card. Okay, so I had a little moment where I freaked out a little bit because I thought I didn't complete my TBR because I forgot about one of the prompts. And then my mum told me that she made a pot of tea, so now I have a massive cup of tea because my brain needs it. So we're gonna continue. Yes, so the Penelopiad may not be available by it may not be an option by the time May comes around, because I read it and I don't know what else I'd put in here because so many of these books, they frighten me by how big they are. So yeah, the next prompt is Gifts from the Gods. Now this is a cop-out because it's supposed to be read a book that has been recommended by a booktube friend. This is the one I freaked out about. This is the one I forgot about. This is the one that my brain couldn't comprehend on a short amount of time. I am certain that there have been recommendations given to me specifically, but based on the fact that I am a thief, I have to go with the books that I already own. So that kind of limits majority of the recommendations given to me to begin with. So I went with the cop-out where it's been in a couple of booktubers' recommendation videos, or where they've spoken about it and they say they recommend it. So here's my cop-out book, which also now covers, because I grabbed it quickly, now covers uni reads as well, which is Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. This would actually be pretty good to read quickly after Song of Achilles, because this goes against the personality created for Achilles in Song of Achilles. Does that sentence even make sense? No. This is really good tea. And for the final prompt, which is return or changed. And that is to read a book or an author that you didn't know about until now. Now, this one would have been tricky with the class of thief if I didn't last minute buy a book 2 days ago. I went through Kindle's monthly deals and I spent my last $5 on 2 books, and this is one of them. Let me get my Kindle out, which is kind of hard to do with a tea in my lap. Okay, so the last book on my TBR, but I'm already cringing because it's so long. It's Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wayne Jones. Vaguely knew that there was a book. I have no idea who the author is, so it's actually kind of perfect for now. And today I was actually thinking about how much I actually want to read the book now, just so I can read it and then watch the movie. Not that I planned to have done that. It just worked out that way because there was a Kindle deal and now I've got it. So that's my very, very ambitious 9-book TBR. I mean, poetry collections are books technically because of them being bound up. They're included. They're included now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, 9 books. If this works, Sage, you're a miracle worker. Never would I have thought I would get through 9 books, and I don't think I'm going to get through 9 books. But when I've got... How many poetry collections have I got here? 2 poetry collections, 2 books that I will be reading with an audiobook, 1 book that I'm halfway through, 1 book that I may read before May arrives, 1 trashy book, and 2 books that I'll have to get through without aid. I mean, I could still get audiobooks if they're available. I have so many credits, but it's my list. I don't know if I'm gonna hate Sage at the end of this. Maybe, maybe not. But Sage did say that we didn't have to do the full bingo card. We could just go for a single line bingo. So 3 books is a success for me, and it's my average for this year. So there we have it. That's my TBR. Wish me luck. Thank you for watching. Pray for me. Bye. so jumpy today.